Fantasticos, here are the directions to start your personal research project. The first thing you're going to do is set up your research notebook. In Google Drive, select in the upper left-hand corner the plus button that says New. Then you may click on Google Docs. That will open up a new Google Doc. The first thing you should do is give it a name. Please give it your first name, your last initial, and then the word research. And then you're ready to start thinking about your research topic. So good research topics for this would be ones that are something you're really interested in. Now, I know it's hard to narrow it down to just one particular thing, but you got to pick something you really want to write, think, read, and watch videos about. You also want it to be something with lots of available sources. If you're choosing a topic that's only has a couple of places where you can get information, then this is going to be a lot harder. So it's okay to narrow your topic later. You might pick a pretty broad topic now, such as dogs, and then later on get more specific with some narrower topic ideas as you pick some ideas that you're more particularly interested in. Here are some no's, some things that do not make for good research topics. Don't pick anything inappropriate for school. And by that, I mean don't pick anything that, as I'm responding to your research notebook, is going to make me feel uncomfortable, or that you would feel uncomfortable having me look at websites for and read information that you're writing about. Let's keep this all comfortable and happy for everybody. Don't pick something that's really narrow or specific. For example, maybe there's a particular boss in a video game that you're having trouble getting through. That is something you can definitely use research to find out about, but it's going to be hard to do it for this particular project. You'd want something a little more general. And don't pick something that needs sources you can't access. So if you're really into doing a very scientific research project, but at this point in time you can't access the resources that would help you do that, don't do that. It's just not going to work out very well for you. Now that you have a couple of guidelines, you're probably going to want to pause this video or watch the rest of the video and then come back to it later. And go and do a little bit of Googling. What are some things you're interested in? What would you like to look up? Keeping in mind that you're going to be sharing your research and your sources with me, what do you want to know more about? Once you have it narrowed to one really great research topic, pick one. Then it's time to move on to the next step. So you may be surprised to find that the first thing you have to do once you've picked a topic is to ask some questions. It's really important to pay attention to your questions because they're probably similar to what somebody who's reading your research would ask. They'll help you guide your research, and you're going to revise them as you go through and find out more. Asking questions now and recording them is really important because by the time you've researched a whole bunch about your topic, you might forget what you didn't know at the beginning. Here's an example. Tattoos. So I might immediately think, is it safe to get a tattoo? Does it hurt? Where do people get tattoos? And this would be an example of a question that needs some clarification. Might mean both where on the body do people get tattoos and where do people find artists to give them tattoos. One good way to generate lots of questions is to think of how, why, and what questions. How questions about tattoos might include, how do tattoos work? How are tattoos made? How do people choose what kind of tattoo to get? How long does a tattoo last? And then I have a follow-up question for that one. Can you get rid of one if you don't want it? And as you're writing down a question, if you think of a follow-up question, it's a great idea to write that down. And how do people become tattoo artists? Ooh, this might show me a narrower topic that I'm interested in going into. Maybe I'm more interested in tattoo artists than actually just the general tattoos. Another type of question that you can ask at the beginning to help set your research up is our why questions. Sorry. Why do people get tattoos? Why do tattoo artists use needles? Why do some people dislike tattoos? Why do you have to be 18 or have parent permission to get a tattoo? So asking how and why questions can be ways to get at some deeper aspects of the topic. So start with what you don't know. Ask some how questions. Ask some why questions. And if you have any what questions that get thrown in there, ask those too. They tend not to open up as many doors for research, but I think as you come up with your how and why questions, you're going to want to be asking some what questions too. Then it'll be time to turn this in. Now you're working in a Google document. So you're going to want to get a shareable link so you can turn it in on Classcraft. Just as a reminder, here's the process. You're going to go up to the upper right-hand corner and click Share. That will bring up this box. Rather than just sharing with me, you're going to get a shareable link. So you'll click on the Get Shareable link up here in the corner. Then once you've gotten the shareable link, you'll notice that by default, it's anybody at Champaign Unit 4 schools can view. I need to be able to write in your research document. So click on the little down arrow next to Can View, and then select anyone at Champaign Unit 4 School District with the link can edit. You only have to do this once. After that, you can just copy the link. Make sure you click Copy the link, and it will tell you that it's copied, and then you can paste it into the Classcraft assignment. I'm looking forward to reading your research.